Okay, welcome, it's November 1st, and we're meeting at the EMS building for the select board meeting. First thing is to ask, is there anything to add to the agenda? I see there's something written in here that needs to be added, which is rec quotes to move rec stuff from Monteith to Armory in minutes. So actually there's two things there. Is there anything else? I'll need a motion and a second to add that to the agenda.
I'll move.
I'll second it.
Polly Rico made a motion. Phil seconded that motion to accept. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Alright, so we'll jump head first right into the agenda, and we got Andrew Dunsmore. Is the first one on the agenda. Executive.
Move to go into executive session.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
So Dean made the motion, Phil seconded that motion to go in executive session to discuss premature public knowledge, maybe compromise situation. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor go in executive session signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, we're now going into executive session, approximately 6:00. Have none, all those in favor come out of executive session, signify by saying aye. All those opposed say nay. And it's basically 6:45 out of executive.
No, you're
You're
fine.
right.
Everybody else is here.
You're not gonna say nothing, are you? You're not gonna run down to Sheldon and tell
Say,
them,
guess
right?
what? Hi, Bethany.
Hello. Hi, Bethany.
Bethany?
Did you find us a bargain on a salt shed?
Like a used one?
Like wheel it on in here?
Move
set it up?
Move to Florida. Cheaper. That's great.
No, I'm good, thanks.
So for, Billy Joe, did the
Are you
two-pager go
back to
in?
taping now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry about
The amendment request, did that go into the board packet by chance? No. Okay, I have only 4 copies because then the copier jammed, and that's why I was late
Of
and got
course.
frustrated. But I think Joey's seen this, and there's not much to it, so you don't even need to, but there's nothing for you.
Yep.
But essentially, so I came here in I think it was end of September, to talk about the salt shed, talk about, what we need to do before going out to bid. We had a kind of a 2-phase approach. One, applied for additional fundings through the Municipal Highway Stormwater Mitigation Grant Program. We haven't heard yet from that.
Okay.
It's a strong application because it's, by giving funding, they'll get grant funding immediately at the door without having to use any V-Trans staff.
Oh, right.
It's gonna, so it's all a matter of whether they want to throw more money to this project.
Right.
So hopefully we'll hear in the next couple of weeks about that. The other option that we were exploring was to work with Du Bois & King to reduce aspects of the project that could potentially reduce the construction costs.
Right.
So I finally last week got a proposal from them. It didn't include what they would be, where they would be reducing costs, but a proposal for them, for their time to identify where those cost savings could be. So you're seeing, and it's on the second page, it's amendment request number 4, and it's for $7,500.
They're basically like, we'll just shave some of our time off.
No, it's $7,500 for them to go and look at the current plans
Oh, okay.
and to identify where they would scale the project back, either in size or materials. So in talking with our project manager at V-Trans, John Lemieux, well, I should say there's a couple things that are, I think, a challenge for the town on that. One, it's $7,500 doesn't even get you any labor to actually make those changes.
Right.
So I would anticipate an amendment number 5 that would actually include the engineering hours.
Right.
So, and then there's the time perspective of that. They said they could have the summary done and ready for you to look at on December 20th, at your December 20th board meeting. So, in talking with John Lemieux, the V-Trans project manager, the option that he was suggesting is, or for the town to consider, is just going out and getting this out to bid, doing it, now. There's a few minor changes that the D&K has to make in order, because of course there's been new specs and things in the year.
Right.
But making those modifications, just getting it out, seeing what the bids come in at.
Right.
Thing to keep in mind is that you went out to bid at the height of timber prices.
Right.
And things have come down there. And that was a substantial part of the project, and it was a lump sum item for just that timber superstructure.
Right.
So and if bids came in that were way too high, you could then go again and just reject all bids.
Yep.
And then proceed with substantially scaling back the footprint of the project.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to propose to you tonight and see if that's the way you'd like to go.
So you're saying we can quickly go out to bid, and then we'll get it back during the winter,
Yes,
and then we can still keep changing it if the bids don't, before spring comes,
We still don't like them.
so, yeah, okay.
so I would say, because DeBoyne King will have to do some updating to the request to bid. So I would say if we could go out, release the bid December 1st, or you need 3 weeks. So deciding whether you want to do it right before Christmas or right afterwards, but when we talked last time, you were saying let's early.
It needs to be now, because people are planning their projects, for next year, so within the next few weeks. You'd like to know if this project's gonna be on the table or not, so if you wait till February, a lot of these guys might have their agendas all filled up, so you
Yep.
won't have as many bids.
And that was the last time. So if we go out to bid as soon as D&K can just make those revisions, then it's have the bids out. In the meantime, you'll see if you get the additional grant funds.
Yep.
Right. And it will give you, at least be able to see what they're coming in at with 2021 prices.
Right.
And go from there. And it's also your budgeting time too.
Right. I like that idea. That's where I'm landing.
Yeah, because with their first option, it'd be the end of December, but by the time they summarize it, and then.
They have to do the work.
And then they gotta do the work to change it, and then get the bid documents ready to,
And another
so,
amendment.
it'd be into February probably before it even went out to bid.
Yep.
Exactly, and we need to get going now, so everybody's just finishing up this year
Yep.
and thinking about next year, well, do a couple
Well,
more
it might-
months, and they're gonna have half the year
It might get a little
planned.
cheaper labor too, knowing that they're locked into a
We
job.
might have more local
Yeah.
people that may be able
Yeah,
to put bids in too, and
Yeah.
hopefully pricing and material and.
That should,
even
you know, if it's,
more
if it's
bidders.
continuing to drop, hopefully it continues to drop.
I know
you
Pierre's not
that's
here
what-
right now, but I was just talking with somebody that was planning on building last year a sugar house, and I guess he's waited, and it's like gone down 4 times as much as what,
Oh,
if he
wow.
had done the project,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
materials,
Yeah.
So that's gonna help a lot.
I mean, John, our project manager, cautioned, project manager from V-Trans cautioned that, we're probably not gonna be where the engineer's estimate was.
Yeah.
Original.
We're not going back to the old days,
Right.
but I think trying to
Right.
at least
Drop
minimize
it
the
down a little
overages.
bit.
Right.
We can hope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can hope.
exactly. Yeah, do that. Do you need a motion? Do we need to sign
I-
this?
No, there's nothing, no, we're not,
No.
I would say,
No.
I it might be good to have a motion that says that you're not accepting this
Okay,
amendment.
okay. I'll move that we are not accepting this amendment and to proceed with the bid process.
Second.
Polly made the motion. Dean seconded that motion. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. We have no,
So the modifications that they need to make because of changes, that still's within the last amendment?
So they have about, they have under $5,000 remaining, and that's some time that they will need to, once we have the contractor on, to have the pre-construction meeting and to be available if there's any questions about the plans. So I'm anticipating like they can use the rest of the $4,500, and if they need to come back to you because they need an extra 15 hours, you know, during the actual construction, I'd want them to come then. I don't think that the town should be negotiating an amendment right now.
Right.
Right, when it's
Just
so
see what you
wishy.
can do with the existing budget and then come
Yeah,
to you to finish it off.
Yeah.
that's, to get it out as soon as we can too is gonna help for our next year for town meeting, and we'll know we should have an idea where the bids are coming back, and, because this last time, we didn't know until afterwards.
It was the worst
Yeah.
timing.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, we didn't set that aside.
yeah. I think that's the motto for that
So do we
year.
need to come up with a desired time we want it to go out to bid?
So I think that we have to say, I would say that,
It needs to be warned in 3
telling
weeks.
Du Bois and King, you know, can you get these modifications wrapped up in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So that we can put it,
Sooner the
So are you,
better.
are you trying to do the 12-1 like you said?
I think 12/1's the most realistic because Du Bois and King has to do their modifications and V-Trans just has to give their final, they have to do another authorization to bid.
So the goal will be to get it out the 1st of December. Yep. Sooner the better.
okay. Yep,
Okay, any other questions on?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna go sit in the corner and send that email
Okay.
tonight. Get them going.
Get him going.
Thank you, Bethany. All right, Joey?
I've got just one more thing.
Okay,
Request for reimbursement for a paving grant. Well, there's a place for all 5 of you to sign it. You can look through it. This is the packet, reimbursement packet to send in to get our $175,000 from V-Trans for a paving grant.
okay.
On the first page is the request for reimbursement. Down there. You can look through the whole thing. It's got our labor that we had, equipment, materials, which can go towards our share, obviously. We already spent enough in paving to get the full maximum amount of $175,000. So once that's signed, I can send that in tomorrow morning to Jim Cotto, John Wilkins, those two, and then they'll process it from there, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have our $175,000.
Nice. Nice.
So we can reimburse our paving fund. So we borrow from that to pay for some of this, so. Borrow or use, however, it's for paving, so.
Well, it technically is borrowing if you're gonna give it back, I guess.
Yep.
Water didn't come down too hard yesterday.
Oh, it rained
Too much of a mess
all
over there.
No, just steady.
Steady.
Yeah.
What,
I was
what's
sweating a little bit.
We got our water.
No, the ground needed it because normal rainfall that much would have flooded the rivers
Yeah.
this
Oh.
time of year.
Is it just Larry signs it?
No,
no, we all
There's
do.
a place sell 5 of to sign it. Or, I guess it's just 4, but minimum of 3.
Is that way in the back?
That's in the front.
Right on the front.
Oh, right on the front.
I don't know why I didn't sign it.
I know, what are
Before I
you
gave it to
thinking?
you.
being a gentleman.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's right. Ladies first.
Okay, so that's what that's for.
Make sure some lightning didn't come down straight to you or something.
Oh, I forgot to do something, but I was making you go first.
Still haven't heard any build date on the loader yet.
No?
No, I guess John Deere's still on strike.
Oh, they're on strike.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Great.
that's what, after he ordered it, he said within a few days he'd have a build date. So then once we get a build date, we might have some idea when you want to advertise to put ours out to bid. A little better knowledge of when to put it out to bid, I guess, but. Yeah, he hasn't had a build date yet, because don't really know, things are kind of up in the air right now. I haven't heard the latest on that, I don't know if anybody's heard. You would think must be they're coming out of
You
that.
got a new bridge up your way yet?
Almost.
You got a wooden bridge right now, don't you?
They uncovered most of it today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Part of it, they took the tarps and plastic and everything off.
They must still have some side work there, huh? Must be they're gonna put
Yeah.
some more blocks in and bring those sides up, some to where you enter.
Yeah, I think they got, I don't know if they poured the top of the abutment on your end yet, or
Yeah,
they did
they
the other
did.
day, did they?
I was gonna say.
There would be some
it's-
guardrails off there probably.
Yeah,
anyway.
oh yeah,
If
they
they
still got a
haven't.
lot of road work, guardrail.
They're going at that today, trying to.
I don't know if they're gonna make.
Do they
the
have
deadline.
do they have a deadline? Or what is the deadline?
15th November,
Yeah, they're not gonna make that.
probably not.
A week? No.
No way.
They were working hard today. For a change.
Not considering it took them this long to get where they are.
Which we were all excited because remember it moved so quick?
Yeah.
It moved quick, and
Yeah.
but now it's
Yeah.
not moving so quick. Okay.
Good when it's done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's taking a while.
Get my deer route back. Now I have to go way down, turn around and go back.
Yeah,
And your cousins.
Um. Anything, got anything else, Joey?
Nope.
I was gonna,
just,
I'll email you a question tomorrow.
okay.
Nothing big.
I guess we're all, yeah, the last meeting, we got all, I filled you in, updated you on the driveway on the Pearly Road.
Yep, that was, I feel like a good direction that one went in.
His desire was to upgrade the existing driveway to accommodate 2 lots, and if he does the 3rd down the road, he's gonna work with a neighbor to.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that went in a good direction.
He wasn't sure exactly where the property line is, he said maybe the property line's where the entrance is already on his, so.
Oh,
But if not, he was gonna work with them to get a right of way to access the 3rd
Well,
lot.
that worked out then, didn't it?
Yep.
All right, well, we're right on schedule right now, so if we're all done with you, we'll move on to the next item,
Well, that's it.
which is Greta and Jesse. I don't see Greta here.
that's why I have this.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Joey.
See ya.
See you, Joey,
Thanks,
thanks.
Joey.
Yeah.
I know that, my Joey.
Hold on, let me see if I can go in.
You made it.
I did.
You made it. Where's your Bylaw?
Well, I dropped my truck off.
Oh, you dropped it
Yeah,
off.
Lucian got done work early because he fell off a ladder and rolled his ankle, so he was picked me up early.
Benefits to it, right?
Yeah, he was hurting though.
Wait for the host. I'm the host. Oh, I have to do that. Oh, gosh. Let's see if I remember. Crap. Or did I sign in with Google? Ooh.
It's been too long since you've done it, no problem.
Huh. Apparently my memory's better than I think.
Nice work.
Thanks.
One time, a number of years ago, after you were on the board for a little bit, and I had to call your house, I was only used to your email, and I was looking up the phone book under pre-co.
That's
Why
funny.
isn't it in the book?
Okay, why?
You
Oh,
didn't have the right
admit. That's funny. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Hi, Greta.
Hi, Polly.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I put you on, you're over there, so everybody can.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, you're on a big screen. Exactly. But we'll play you through here. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so Jesse and Shaylee are here, and then the select board, so we're all good. So Woody, how do you want to do this?
Okay, well, I can just give an overview of what the grant opportunity is, and then there can be, an opportunity for questions. So I had first spoken with the Planning Commission about this grant opportunity as something that may be a good fit for the bylaw project. But ultimately, the Planning Commission decided, and I agreed with them, that the scope of the bylaw project was much broader than what this new one-time funding is intended to address. And so the MPG, which was submitted today, was identified as a better fit so that you could focus on the unification and development standards for conditional uses, conditional use site plan standards primarily, and then application materials and fee schedule. So that's great. And so because we had to narrow the scope of the bylaw project in order to bring it within budget, I thought there might be an opportunity for the town to also join our consortium project for this one-time grant funding opportunity. So the title of the project is Homes for All, Reducing Barriers in Northwest Vermont. And so we are, the title of the grant opportunity is Bylaw Modernization, but I think that's kind of a poor name because it doesn't really speak to what the project is going to do. So we've titled our project Homes for All, Reducing Barriers in Northwest Vermont. And the opportunity is intending to address the housing problem in the state of Vermont, and it's critically important in our region as well. There's a mismatch between the types of housing that are available, both in terms of cost, but then also in terms of what types of housing, like size, just a lack of diversity, and like there's a mismatch between the types of housing available and what families in our communities are needing. We have a lot of smaller working families, household size is decreasing, senior households are growing in number, and so I think there's opportunity to look at how zoning can encourage more diverse, smaller households that are more affordable and walkable and meet smart growth standards that are, so we're promoting development in and around our existing centers. So we are looking to, St. Albans Town has agreed to be the lead applicant for this consortium application, and we're looking to have 3 to 5 towns sign on. The first part of the project is going to essentially be outreach and education around housing needs in the region and the way that zoning might be a barrier or opportunity to be a tool to promote housing that communities needs. So there's also, NRVC also received funding or at least a partnership with a variety of other organizations in the community. The Working Communities Challenge Project received funding from the legislature. And as part of that, they're looking at the barriers to workforce development in the region, and they're focusing on housing. So we're gonna tie into this Working Communities Challenges project, which is going to be doing a regional housing needs assessment. So we're gonna dovetail with that project, collaborate on the housing needs assessment, and do targeted outreach to communities in the region on housing needs and opportunities in the region. And so as part of that, we're gonna have a very dynamic website. We're going to hold some participation opportunities, likely remote opportunities, so that we can encourage participation across the region. So that's the first part of the project. We're going to have this is sort of outreach and education around a housing needs assessment funded by the Working Communities Challenge project, which will be happening sort of concurrently. And we're also highly involved in the project management of that, so we're going to be able to sort of coordinate the two projects very closely. So the second piece of the project is will involve a bylaw audit of each of the participating municipalities. And so we will be looking to essentially do a housing audit and identify where weaknesses and where opportunities exist in being able to promote housing opportunities that meet the needs of the community. We're going to prepare a municipal profile around housing needs. And if there is, so the Vermont Housing Financing Agency has created or recently done a statewide housing needs assessment and created individual profiles for some larger communities. And so what we're going to try to do is sort of model that one-page housing needs assessment profile for the communities in this region. Then we'll do the assessment of regulations and make recommendations on where the community could make changes that would, again, further housing choice and affordability. Like, this is more, I think, in the range of reducing barriers to housing choice and affordability. So I think it might be helpful to explain, and I did include this in the one-pager, but the types of regulations that we're going to be looking at are adding flexibility or reducing dimensional standards, increasing allowed density, allowing for a mix of uses and building types, prescriptive standards that achieve desired development patterns and building types. And so that goes hand in hand with potentially looking at areas where there could be increased density or increased flexibility. Hand in hand with that is prescriptive standards that achieve desired development pattern and building types. So I think those are important to match together. Ensuring street design and parking standards are not too restrictive, streamlining, and finally streamlining the development review process and making sure that there's efficiencies where there can be. So these are the types of standards that can have the impact of promoting housing choice in your community and creating housing options that can be more affordable and meet your community's needs. And so we're going to be working with each municipality to review and select the standards that are compatible with the local planning goals and that are supported by the community. And so from that, we will draft zoning language that could be inserted into your regulations. And so I think that this would dovetail nicely with sort of towards the end of your zoning project. Your zoning project, if funded, it will be funded, right? Is an 18-month project. This is a 2-year project. And so the consultant is going to leave you with a draft bylaw, but it's not going to be, the consultant's not going to leave you with a bylaw that's immediately going to be going through the adoption process. There might be that would be the ideal situation.
Right.
But we don't, that project is really big. And so there could be an opportunity towards the end for some additional changes that resulting from this housing project to be sort of inserted in. And so that is how I would see these two projects dovetailing. Other than that, so as far, we're looking at about 3 meetings of the Planning Commission relating to this particular project. Other than that, it's not a humongous investment. There's educational opportunities that you can take part in, free meetings, and then being able to make use of the recommendations and draft zoning bylaws that would come, zoning bylaw language that would come out of it. There is a very small match that's required depending on how many communities that we do get signed up, and right now we have the match ranging from 662 to 756. And so if we get 5 communities, it's on the low end, and if we only get 3 communities, it's on the high end.
Wait, when you say 662, you mean like $600?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I said when you say 662, you mean 662? Yeah,
No, there's.
that's, wow, okay.
And I couldn't get it right now to round off to a nice even number, so that's what it is right now, just because it's based on a formula that I have to divide it by the number of towns
Right.
that are participating, and so it's just shared evenly. And so Sheldon and Montgomery are, Sheldon's considering taking action
right on.
for today, Montgomery's considering joining tonight, and so, and then Highgate's taking final action this Thursday. But those are the communities that we're looking at. We were hoping to get Swanton on board, but they're still they're still a maybe at this point. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get them to take action by the end. But we have a great consortium. We're really excited about this project and taking advantage of this one-time funding that was made available by the legislature. We're trying to make a project that will just allow us as a region to look at our housing situation and create some great educational opportunities for the communities in the region, and use this as an opportunity to also provide some zoning updates and tweaks that will be beneficial and meet goals for communities to achieve housing.
As you were talking, it made me think about, like, when I first got involved in planning commission, it's like we had huge lot requirements, right? Like 10 acre, remember?
Yeah.
15, I almost think, right? And you start to see how those might be barriers for people, and right? And then as the years have gone by, we've realized people need to start using their property differently. So then we do the home industry, like all of these things have kind of evolved, but our town plan still says wide open space, right? And so I think it would be interesting. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it would be interesting to have folks go through our bylaws and just see what actually is in place.
Yeah, and again, I do want to stress that it's not that we want to open up and create, really high density, or that we would recommend really high density everywhere in the town, right? Part of what makes housing affordable is being accessible and walkable to your centers, right? So it's thinking about where are the areas in and around your existing centers that have the opportunity to support additional development, and how can you fix your bylaws so that development is not, those bylaws aren't acting as a barrier to that development.
So would you just be looking at the village and the surrounding spots, or are you gonna be looking at the whole town?
We would look at the whole town to the extent that there'd be other, hamlet areas
Yeah.
or that would
Like-
make it be appropriate.
Like West
for,
Enosburgh, yeah.
increased flexibility and density.
Right.
But, I mean, the goal is really to have it be around your existing centers, but if there's other opportunities that the community wants to explore and that's identified, then that's something that we can look at.
Yeah.
What I liked is it took out, we were here last time where we had that huge match.
I can't hear
Oh,
probably.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
No, I was just saying, Greta, what I liked is, the biggest concern was, the large match on the MPG. Now we took out the housing part of that. Now we can get that housing back for a minimal input at that point. So now we really get everything that we wanted from that original.
In pieces.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that bylaw project's gonna be great. It's gonna be a really intensive, project to bring together both the community's regulations and really carefully understand, really the, commercial development standards, mixed use development standards, and make sure that the DRB has the tools they need to be able to, approve development, that is in conformance with your planning goals. And so this will, I think, add, you'll still be able to look at the housing piece, but also benefit from the educational opportunities and outreach that we're going to be doing
Yeah.
as part of it.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good idea, and I was just thinking the same thing we were talking about, village and town, so is that something that the trustees should be part of a discussion too, to know that this may be happening,
A housing audit.
the housing audit?
We could talk about it at our joint meeting.
Yeah, since it's not anything you need to motion, because you're gonna move on it tonight.
Right.
So you can just tell them in. a
Yeah, we'll just
Yeah.
tell them.
And I have been, too, Larry, I've been updating the village guys, as you haven't been, of course, the last few meetings, you've been busy, but when we went through this whole MPG process, I've, kind of offered it to them how much they want to be involved as far as the village side, and they're still kind of, kind of the backseat, like,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
I
stuff.
realize,
Yeah.
I realize that, but I just
Yeah.
wanted them to.
Yeah, no,
to
no,
know
definitely,
that this is
definitely,
happening or
yep, yep.
possibly.
Yeah, I haven't updated John, but I would, if you would like me to, I'd be happy to connect with John on this. And I don't know the trustee schedule, so I don't know if we would be able to get on their agenda before this is due.
Are we
It's-
having a joint meeting
Maybe
with
on the-
them?
Here on the 23rd.
We're having a joint meeting on the 23rd, but again,
It wouldn't,
it would be just an information. They wouldn't have a decision.
They wouldn't need to sign a resolution,
Right.
no. I mean, if they were strongly opposed to the project, that would probably.
I don't see why they would.
right, I wouldn't think so. So Greta, they'd meet next Tuesday. I don't know if she heard
On the
me.
8th?
The 9th,
The 9th,
they'll meet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if John felt the need to at least bring it to our attention at a meeting, it could happen then, and that would be well before the.
right.
Right, we'd have to, yeah, if we want to get on the agenda, we'd have to chat with him because they make the agenda on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you feel about moving
Forward, having.
forward on
Having
it?
a motion to.
I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, and it sounds like, Greta, it sounds like you're gonna use our own bylaws or plans to develop. It's not gonna be just a template that fits each town, right?
That's a good, did you hear
So I
him?
think that a lot of, we're gonna have a set tool of opportunities, a set number of opportunities that we're gonna have. Sorry. So I think what I'm trying to say is that a lot of communities might have similar recommendations, but from those recommendations, we're going to meet with individually with each planning commission, and we would then tailor the specific draft zoning language to what the community would need, wants, and needs, and so that it would be able to fit into their zoning.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
that answer your question?
yeah. So I would move on, I make a motion to proceed with the application for the addressing housing, the
Is it MPG?
Homes for All, reducing barriers, also known as the Bylaw Modernization Grant.
All right,
I'll second it.
Polly made the motion, Phil seconded that motion. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Unanimous ayes, and we will proceed.
There. All right.
Great, well, I am super excited to have you be a part of this consortium. It's gonna be a great opportunity if we're successful to really dive into housing at the regional level. And so, Jesse, can I coordinate with you on outreach to the village?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we can be in touch tomorrow. I have some other questions I came up with this afternoon. I wanted to ask you about the MPG, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, tomorrow, I have more flexibility, tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we can touch base tomorrow.
Okay,
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greta.
Thank you.
that's great, thanks.
Bye.
You got it?
So, submitting the MPG, right? Remember I
Yeah.
said I was leaving at 4? And
Yeah, yeah.
she's like, at, what was it, 3 o'clock?
I'm gonna say
She's
it was
like-
whatever, yeah.
And I had the same problem with the, passwords. Like, I forgot my
right.
password. I'm like, forgot password, forgot username, forgot password, forgot username. Oh, I was sweating it. That finally happened.
I don't know, there is a resolution to sign. I don't know if you wanna sign it. I need your signature, Larry. If you wanna sign it tonight, or if you wanna go, I mean, we can go to the trustees meeting if they want to, and then I can come back. We have enough time for your next meeting, I believe. No, we don't.
Next one's.
No, we don't.
Next one's with them,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
I don't see
okay.
any problems. so.
Okay, yeah, and if it
I was
doesn't,
gonna
yeah.
say, if that's
I-
any issue,
yeah, I
we'll
didn't-
shred it.
Right,
I just
exactly,
wanted,
yeah.
you've already been trying to keep them in.
Right, yeah, they've
That's-
known, yeah, exactly, so, yeah, and they submitted a letter of, support for the MPG as well, Jonathan did with that, so, like I said, we've been in constant, contact with everything, so. This just all came out, this modernization thing was on the 29th when this was, we knew it was coming, but we just didn't know what the language was gonna be, so, yeah.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I think it's interesting to think about, you know, just even thinking about time and planning commission, it's like, you know, you mentioned even condos and you're like, no.
Right.
Right? But then you start thinking about, like that house, isn't it the house right across, right by, Hull Insurance? That don't people, haven't they bought, like, isn't it kind of condos in that big house?
It's kind of, yeah, it's a.
Like
Oh, the
they
one
bought-
on the corner, the
Right.
next
Yeah,
one
like
down.
there are people who have bought their section of the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, not, no, I didn't know they split the house out.
I
They
didn't
split
either.
the house up, like Cynthia Scott line.
Oh, no, that was rented.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
I just
rented,
got sold.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
that
Yeah,
was-
Abbott
so,
Floors
yeah,
owned it
yeah,
before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought they had like bought a section of the house.
Not that I
Anyway,
know
I
of.
started
I don't
thinking
think-
about like, why can't you have something like that where
Right.
you have older folks? Yeah, like a
Duplex, right.
duplex,
Right,
exactly. We don't
right.
even really, we
Right.
have like
Owned,
one
yeah.
section of duplex, but that's it, really.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it'd be interesting to think about.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep,
So are we this?
But I think there's a lot more opportunities there with,
sounds like it.
you know,
But
squishing
that
some
there's
of
some
these things
tonight
in
thinking about it.
and straightening out some of those old.
I'll get a couple, there'll probably be four.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
listed.
before.
Larry says
Yeah,
four.
Enosburgh, Montgomery, and Sheldon are all considering.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other thing, further down on some of these things, I didn't put it because of the stuff that happened today that I think I spoke to.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse has some stuff that he can add to the conversation, so we're wondering if we could go into executive.
Oh, for sure.
Right now, before he leaves.
Oh, before you leave, right?
Or whichever, if you wanna do that, I can hang around too, it's not that big. We drove in separate cars, so, yeah.
You're like,
Yeah,
"Eh,
I knew that
goodbye."
was, yeah.
Bye,
See you,
Julie.
Shirley.
Yeah, do what you gotta do, no worries. Don't, go back and forth.
On what, Gary Owens, we want executive? Oh, no.
Yeah, that's.
It would be like legal matter?
I'd say
Yeah.
it's illegal, I'd say it's a legal matter,
Yeah, yeah, it's a legal matter.
Is that where we're at right now?
I guess
And-
so.
And I say you don't have to, if you wanna finish up what you
We don't have
want,
a lot, but the other stuff is just little. we don't take very long.
yeah, go ahead, don't,
We
I'm
don't have any
fine.
more people coming in. and-
No.
Nope.
Yeah, go ahead, you don't have to go back and forth, I'm fine, I'm good.
Yeah, we can probably finish all this
Yeah.
up and
Okay.
do that. and
Yeah.
That way you
Go
can
ahead.
head out at
Exactly.
the end there. So
Yep.
we'll just hold off on that.
Armory update.
So Polly had been working back and forth trying to get these people to nail down the time where they were gonna come and do this assessment.
Yeah.
And she backed them into a corner and it worked, so they're coming tomorrow.
Yes. You know what I was thinking tomorrow, when they show up, like just dealing with the Armory has been great, dealing with some of the other state
Yeah.
people, as you know, it gets a little hairy. Maybe, print out our work plan, like what we wanna do, and give that to them again, so when they walk over there, they have it, in case they don't have it.
Yeah, 'cause we've got material just waiting.
Waiting, so that's why they can be like, test that, and that first, cause we need to go, yeah.
Well, that's what she had asked.
Oh,
Remember the other
yeah.
day I said she needed the whole thing and she
Yeah.
said, I need to know where walls are going to be cut.
Oh,
or
okay.
broken."
So,
I
okay.
guess that was their thinking, what's going to be disturbed.
Okay,
And I said, well, really, we're a door here and the customer window and a door here, and, you know, where the doors are gonna be broken. for
Correct.
them to be customer service.
And then you told them replacement of windows.
I said
Yep.
lighting, replacement of floors and windows, but I'll
Yeah.
reiterate that tomorrow.
Ceiling, were we doing ceiling?
I think
Are
there's
there,
some
like,
stuff
said
that needs to be
tiles?
fixed in there, but I don't think,
It wasn't gross, okay,
yeah.
like that.
Everybody looks
They're
up.
gonna be cleaning the bugs out any day now, because I mentioned.
All right.
So, what about the exterior?
They seem to be, they didn't say anything to me about the fuel tank.
Oh, the fuel tank, yeah, no, so that money still, it's in the process of, this was the quick one, run with it. So that's still on the table, that's still in the works, I should say. But I haven't been hounding them like I've been hounding Ben, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Need to get inside.
It was the EPA that took so long to sign off.
yeah, exactly. They kept waiting for
But
the
again,
EPA.
I mean, it's really, it's asking permission to build a home.
Yeah.
Why did it take so long? Like 45 days or something.
Yeah, that was long.
Yeah, because we're gonna be heating this place in here now with nobody in there.
And we potentially have to think ahead, depending on how COVID treats us in the next few months, about, we may be having to hold town meeting.
Correct,
Because we can't use it at school.
correct.
We probably can hold it here, but if we're gonna still be trying to distance a little bit, which I imagine we will be, that we're potentially gonna have to be in that building for town meeting unless they're gonna make us go virtual again. But at this time right now, the talk is plan on a normal one,
Yep.
but
So we
if it
should
goes out.
think about chairs for that place.
They're already starting to bring some of the chairs over there because they knew that this room is going to be redone with the floor.
Oh, okay,
So a number of chairs are already over there, there's a whole rack in there, and they'll just
okay.
continue to bring some down.
Oh, yeah. When did they come?
The rack,
Those chairs and stuff?
well, those chairs, the white chairs that were sitting in were donated by Jim Cameron last year, and so the metal chairs.
Because we
are what-
ordered some, right?
We ordered
Some
racks.
We did the rack.
Oh,
That
just the
is what
rack.
we
Oh,
ordered, yeah.
okay.
I say we order some of those chairs for over there.
Some of
Whole
these
rack
white
worth,
ones.
yeah.
I'll get a price. I think they hold up better than those.
They do.
Okay, anything else on our Armory? Logo, letterhead.
So since our start, we have never had
Yeah.
a head or a logo. So we have this picture, and I guess that one forward, which those probably recognize it, because it's one of the barns that he owns on Oregon Road.
Oh, yeah.
But we turned it from a picture into a sketch drawing, because
Yeah.
and then a little decoration around. You may not like it, you may want to switch out other things, nice.
Is this how it's gonna photo?
No, it would be much clearer.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this is just, that's just background.
Can we get this?
Yeah, it's in.
It's at the end, yeah.
I have to think about it.
Better than the cow.
It is better than the cow. I'll tell you, not that I'm artistic. I have a problem with the leaves being kind of like drawn and then this picture.
The picture being a picture and then the leaves.
Yeah, it looks funny to
We can
me.
definitely take out the leaves. But
We could even put
Put a couple cats
Old
here.
Hollow digital.
Couple of cats.
God.
That's for Jamie's,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what they're using it for.
No,
I've
exactly.
always
I
liked
haven't
this
been in it
because
for a
of-
long time, but they've been doing a lot of work on the inside.
They have been, yeah.
I've been helping
It's
them with the
decent
grant,
there,
yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Good. They're a Jamie baby.
Take out leaves.
Can we, yeah. I was even thinking like you could even have like the digital arts, Cold Hollow make one. Not to mention, have you seen
Fat
Yvonne's
buckets.
work?
Hmm?
Like Yvonne's digital arts work? It's
No.
kinda crazy.
No, I don't, well, I've seen the calendar and things like that.
Like her, anyway. That's just my 2 cents. But yes, we need a logo. Yeah, I don't mind it. The leaves are what throw me off.
The leaves, take out the leaves.
The barn is very,
Everybody picks that up. I mean,
I
Yeah.
know, I do like the cupola.
I think Mike had that redone.
Yeah, I think
Actually, I
so.
think it might have been the Historical Society
It's on the historic register.
Yeah.
did something to that just before we purchased it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so that's all I had on.
okay.
You see it?
Yep, yeah, yep.
The next thing was information selling equipment. Larry asked me to check with the league about how to go about listing a loader for sale
Yeah.
in a proper legal fashion. And we have a letter from Susan Senning, that she's one of the attorneys at the league. And basically, if I'm reading it right, we've always done this kind of thing, you know, make sure
Yeah.
that you're doing the right things. But one of the things in there surprising is basically they don't want you making money, if I'm not reading it wrong. You're not supposed to profit from it, but I'm not sure what constitutes profit.
Should not
because-
compete with the private sector or make a profit off the sale.
But the thing is,
I think they mean individually, right?
no, I
And
don't
the
think,
funds from the sale must be accounted for
Like,
properly.
like one of us buying it and reselling it, right? Is
I
that
don't
what-
think that's what it
No?
means. I think it just means that you're not supposed to make a profit, but how do you determine a profit when we've had repairs over the years?
Yeah, it's
and we've
not.
made all the payments? So what determines a profit?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it basically says it's not gonna compete with the private sector, so we're not gonna like, we have a truck to sell, we're not gonna sell it so low so they don't go to Champlain Chevrolet,
So I
they
think
buy
that
our
if we
truck.
say, well, we paid for this much for it, this has been the repairs, this has been upkeep,
Yeah,
and we sell it at a decent price, it's not a profit if you can say you've spent all this money.
yeah,
But I did think that wording about not
that
making
is
profit
weird.
was very strange.
The board
I wonder if
shouldn't compete
they're
advertisers.
aware that it's a replacement equipment. It's not that we're banning it.
I mean-
We're not gonna have any loaders
Right.
anymore. So
And we own it
funds
too,
From
also.
that or for the
Yeah.
new one.
Right, it's not like we're gonna take it and put it in a bridge or a building or something,
Yeah.
it's gonna go back towards the,
The purchase.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I think it's just.
I mean, we own it too, it's not like we don't
Exactly,
own
what do you
it.
mean make a profit? Does the town
Yeah.
ever make a profit?
So,
Yeah,
so on,
They've never seen
on
our
this
Exactly.
bidding
I
process.
mean, they have to equal.
It's gonna go out to everybody, or can it be just local? Or can we, as a
Well, it
board,
depends
look
on
at
where
it,
you
look at the bids as local people? Cause it's like, you'd rather benefit somebody within your own community that has actually paid taxes towards this equipment over
Especially if
time.
you're not making a profit.
And, I mean,
I think it all depends on where you advertise. If you just do like a Facebook post or word of mouth,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not obligated to advertise.
Oh,
You could
right.
just simply do word of mouth, which would keep it local.
Or, yeah, like a Facebook post.
Or, you know, your friends and family can you tell this one and tell this one and tell this one and, you know, this construction worker, like you tell Scott. you tell the
Yeah.
next
And then they
farm over,
bid.
You tell the next farm over.
Yeah.
And then they all bid.
Mhm.
That's one way, because and it would save on advertising. Why would we advertise that when we don't need to?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was really surprised when Joey told me there's, the buyout was gonna bring it down, was it 6,000 or something?
Yep.
And it's like, wow, okay, I didn't expect that, and then the guy was like, oh yeah, I can even help you out.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
We thought.
this is kinda strange.
yeah.
yeah.
Why don't you give us a better trade-in value? But anyhow,
Could be something on their end where they're selling it to a municipality that they get some sort of a break too.
and I think it's kinda difficult for them right now too, they don't have the new piece yet. And then they're gonna be hanging on to this for 3 months, or it's gonna be getting wear and tear in 3 months. They don't know what's gonna happen to it.
Right.
All right, so next is land at fire station info.
It's executive.
so move, we go into executive session for legal issues.
I'll second that.
Dean made a motion, Phil seconded the motion to go into executive session, discuss legal issues. The the land, fire station. Any more discussion?
Nope.
Having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nah, no.
I knew somebody was gonna do that eventually.
I know.
7:30, 7:37, something like that.
Almost did that.